and they have a celebration every 50 years in honor of the orbit of Sirius B around Sirius A. Now, how did they do that? What is the explanation that anyone can give for us to understand how they knew another star was in orbit around Sirius A? The only explanation I can think of is that their mythology is either true, or there were some extremely advanced technologies that we are not aware of that existed in ancient times. But to make matters even more complicated, I have been researching the phenomenon of precession, and the official explanation of precession is that it is the wobble of the Earth. However, the alternative explanation is that it could be due to a binary orbit with another star. And if we were in this orbit, it would give us the interpretation of precession. And there's a good documentary out there that was actually narrated by James Earl Jones that goes through the evidence. There's about 80% of the stars in our universe are in a binary system. So what makes us think that we are so special that that we could potentially not be in a binary system? And it's not even talked about. It's not talked about by our scientists, when there's a high probability that we actually are. And perhaps it's kept hidden from us due to the implications of moving within that orbit. If it creates changes on this Earth, massive changes, it creates hysteria. It gives them control, knowing this knowledge, when it's going to happen, where they're going to go. Gives them control and power if this is true and we actually are in a binary orbit. So, other connections, I apologize, I'm just kind of throwing stuff out there at you guys. Well, the pyramids line up with, the Great Pyramids in Egypt line up with the Belt of Orion, many people know that, and point towards Heliopolis. Heliopolis is in the same location as that Sirius would be found. So Heliopolis was the most sacred city in Egypt, and is also represented by the star Sirius. Ancient Egyptians were found, they found many whale skeletons. They were very interested in whale skeletons. There's just a lot of interesting connections here. And then I started getting into the Aborigines, who, I'm going to switch over here, back over to Google Earth. And I get into the Aborigines, and they found interesting evidence that the Aborigines actually traveled to South America, because they found all sorts of skulls here. Okay, They found all sorts of skulls that are Aboriginal skulls. We're talking 40,000 years ago, okay? And way before Native Americans ever arrived. And sorry guys, I'm screwing this up. And they found pictures of boats that were actually, by experts, deemed to be used for long distance traveling. And so when we connect our Indonesian theory of Atlantis with Aborigines, which were, it created this land bridge to Australia, who then are found in South America. Then we find the Olmec heads, which represent, they look like black people, Africans, possibly Aborigines. We start finding some interesting connections to put our global theory together. Then we find, what I've had some research where I've tried to find lost pyramids that could potentially be underground. We have Walsh's Mountain, which has a strong pyramid-looking shape. It's called Pyramid Mountain to the locals. But the big ones are that I found were in Indonesia. We had Satahurup, which conveniently is under some cloud coverage. And then we have what is I thought there was one more. Maybe I didn't mark it. I thought it was a little questionable, the other one. There was one other pyramid-looking mountain in Indonesia. But there's some real interesting sites that really need to be excavated, similar to the Bosnian pyramids. And then we also have the Chinese pyramids. So you're finding these pyramids all over the globe, potentially in Australia, Indonesia. So, like I said, this was I just threw a lot of information together here, but I thought it was all pertinent to the research, and I thought that I just wanted to get it out there, and somewhere down the road I'm gonna put something nice together, where I put it all together, or maybe somebody else could do it for me. But really think that this research is coming together, and I just find this strong connection here with these lines with our global geography. And now we see that Sirius actually goes on these lines. If someone could somehow prove that these lines represent a path of Sirius, of an overhead view, perhaps, that would be wonderful. I think I was messing around with some astronomy programs, and I was, trying to view from Cairo. I was trying to view from Teotihuacan, New York City, direct overhead views of Sirius, and I was having some difficulty. I need to play with it some more, but maybe I'll make a video over that, trying to prove that this is the path of Sirius. But we do find it. When we inverse the astronomical map on Google Sky to Google Earth, we do find that Sirius does lay exactly on our line, which I think is extremely strong evidence that this is the connection. Does this line represent our Sirius path? And our other question that we all need to look into is, are we in a binary star system with Sirius? So, all right. Thanks for listening, and let's all work together and try and find the truth. I think we need to create some sort of network of videos where we can all input information if you're interested in this, and get this information out there as fast as we can, and then maybe put it all together eventually, and have some sort of documentary that people can watch that really can wake some people up. So, all right, guys, thanks for listening.